Great Debaters Contest is brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa.
We're in the second largest county of Kenya for the Kakamega edition of the Great Debaters Contest. I am your host, Austin Nyombok.
And I am Mariam Bishar. And to welcome you to Kakamega County, we have a thought-provoking debate between St. Cecilia girls and Lugulu girls on whether a cashless economy will increase savings. We'll let the debaters take the stage now. Proposer number 1, you have 3 minutes.
As we move into the digital era, we see things like ATMs and even M-Pesa firstly taking up ground because our country wants to embrace a society that does not use cash. Why? These societies tend to run 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. I am Okomba Rehama from the St. Cecilia Girls High School, Misihu. And once we're talking about a cashless society, what exactly are we trying to put across here? Well, a cashless society is a society whereby purchases and even transactions go in time and even take place without the use of money, but only the use of electrical systems. This cash policy is mainly being inaugurated in this beautiful country, Kenya, mainly because they want our banking systems to be able to be known out there within our Kenyan people and to also enhance inauguration of our beautiful economy. One thing about our cashless society is that at a national level, whereby we get to produce money, we get to imprint even notes and coins. First of all, our Kenyan system and government has been able to take place with a company with De La Rue, which is a British company that enables us print money and even print coins. Once we get to embrace the cashless society, such money will not be needed to pay the people working to enhance the printing of coins and even the printing of money. Another thing is that 87% of bacteria has been noted to be found in our Kenyan notes. Most of you love buying chips from the roadsides, mandazi, and even maize cob that has been burnt. If each and every one of you is able to buy maize from these roadsides, definitely 87% of that bacteria, you're getting to consume that, and definitely you'll get typhoid or even cholera. So once we get to embrace this cashless society, these people catering for us in terms of food will not need to engage in money. They'll just give you your food and transact your money using credit cards, and everything will be well. Once we need to transport money from one place to another, there's need for security. There's need for cars, which need fueling, remember. So, once we have a cashless society, tell me something. Will we really need people to be able to facilitate the transportation? Will we need fuel to be able to enable these cars move from one place to another? Definitely not. So, once we need this cashless society, definitely savings will be able to increase day in and day out in every single way. Another thing is that things like fraud and even stealing in banks is rampant day in and day out. You won't go out with any day listening to radio whereby a bank has been looted, money has been stolen. So, once we have a cashless society, this will not be necessary, since credit cards as all will be needed and we'll be having a very safe society. Thank you.
First proposer, you have 3 minutes for your opening submission.
Security. Seriously. Are we supposed to trust our savings on security, and yet we only need one person to hack into your account just for fun, and he gets hold of your savings? I am Victoria Haleji, Lugulu Girls. When we talk about a cashless society, we are meaning a society where there is little or low cash flow in the society. Therefore, all other transactions use electronic media like mobile payment, using your phones. We have the most common, which is M-Pesa. We have Airtel Money. We also have the electronic funds transfer. These are various methods where the cashless system operates on. And savings, when you talk about savings, this is money not spent, but may have accumulated over a period of time. There are many threats to this system. We have the hackers, the crackers, who have malicious intentions. The crackers have malicious intentions, but the hackers use it for fun. Are you ready to lose your savings just because a person is trying to get into your system for fun? It is not fair. Therefore, your savings can't increase by that method. We also have these methods are very expensive. We have the fiber optics, which are very expensive to put up. We need to save this money that is used to put up such infrastructure in the society. We also have experts who need to be paid a lot of money to be able to put up this infrastructure. The unemployment factor, we are going to move from a labor-intensive system to a technology-intensive system. Therefore, unemployment will be a factor to be considered. How is someone supposed to increase the savings and yet you're not being paid? The electricity factor, we will spend a lot of money. We will spend a lot of money having to educate people to be able to use these computerized methods. The failure rates in these methods are very high. The National Physical Lab Center in the UK for Mathematical and Scientific Research has put it across that there is a 1% failure rate in this system of the biometric system, whereby that 1% may look like a very small percentage, but if you consider 100 million people using this method, there is this 1 million that will lose its savings through this. It is not fair that we lose it through such methods. And planning, if I go with 100 shillings to a place, I will be able to know that this and this are the factors that are this and this. I'm going to use this and this to buy with the 100 shillings. But if I use the credit card, no, I don't think I'll be able to budget well. And therefore, it will not lead to increased savings. Thank you.
We'll now hear rebuttals. Proposers, you have 3 minutes.
P. Cyrus once said, money alone sets the world in motion. I strongly advocate for the point that the cashless economy will enable savings to increase. My opponent say that when we have the cashless economy, there will be hacking. I say that, no, the hacking, is it better to be hacked? The money in banks is insured. There can be compensation. But do you prefer that your money is stolen on cash on transit goods? Take, for example, the G4S case in 2010. The cooperative bank sued the G4S security firm for money being looted by one of their employees. Do you prefer your money being looted on our roads, on our Kenyan roads, through corruption? It's rather to be hacked in the banks where you'll be compensated. Okay. Secondly, she said, but it is expensive. Yes, it is expensive for the cashless economy. It is expensive, yes, but it is convenient. It is expensive. Cheap is expensive. So why do we have to use the cheap means and lead up to expensive means? Let us be expensive and save more. Let us be expensive. We have to, do you want to put money in homes? It's rather we invest in the banks, we put our money in banks. They will gain interest, rather than putting our money rotting at home. She said also that labor will move from labor-intensive, that is human labor, to technology. Technology is the best. So as we move from technology, as we move from labor to technology, a cashless economy uses technology. That's very obvious. That is very fast. It is very convenient. It is very, look at, we have M-Pesa, we have M-Shwari. They all use technology. So I refute this point strongly. I say that a cashless economy is better. It will lead to increased savings. I also would like to add this, that when we have a cashless economy, it will reduce the cash in circulation in our country. This will curb the robbery cases on our roads. For example, let's take, for example, the G4S case again. That robbery will be curbed. We will not be hearing of cases of robbery on our roads. Also, when we have a lot of cash in circulation, our currency will be losing value. Our Kenyan currency, let's take for example at this time, our Kenyan shilling against the US dollar in the exchange rates. The Kenyan shilling is becoming weaker and weaker every day. We are now at 96 shillings per dollar, and we are moving to 100 shillings per dollar. Do you want to tell me that the Kenyans who will be wishing to import things from outside the countries, they will have to spend more to import? They will not be thinking of saving. They will have to spend more than what they would have used if the Kenyan shillings were stronger against the US dollar. I also say that we have faster transactions when you use the cashless economy.
The first transactions, we have M-Pesa, pay with M-Pesa, Lipa with M-Pesa, the advertisements we see every day. It's faster, it's cheaper. Thank you. Maria Hayo from the St. Cecilia Girls High School, Misihu.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes for your rebuttal.
They say knowledge is power. So at this juncture, I would love to educate the second proposer and let her be knowledgeable about this. Hacking and cracking is very, very expensive. Considering the fact that we have to employ experts, we have to have firewalls in these computers, we have to have supercomputers and experts. Can you imagine how much money we'll be losing? Instead, if we just had a cash society, we would be saving this money. And plus, I would also urge you to put your points across in a manner that we can see how your points relate to saving. Thank you. My name is Purity Mora, Lugulu Girls High School. First of all, once I have my cash with me, I can be able to manage my cash. I can know, suppose I have 100 shillings, I will know this 100 shillings I can be able to use up to this amount, but once I have a card, I can just go around swapping. I go to a petrol station, I swipe. To a grocery shop, I swipe. So you get yourself spending so much money. Does that lead to saving, ladies and gentlemen? One Adewale Adams said, we cannot run on a cashless society. And he said this basing on illiteracy. It takes so much money to educate these people, to tell them how to put down these fiber optic cables. They're spending so much money to educate these people, and thus we are not saving on money. We are using more money to educate people on this cashless system. Does that save on our savings? No, it does not. We also have cybercrimes. I'd also love to put this across. When we have this, as I've mentioned, of course, these hacking and cracking systems really do lower on our savings. These people get into the systems in one way or another because it is proven that 1% of the biometric system is faulty. So you can imagine 1 million people losing their money, no matter the small percentage that we have. Even if it is 1%, so many people are losing on their money. We also have unemployment factor. Once we have businesses that don't need this cashless system. We have Mama Mboga there, we have the shopkeeper around the corner there. This person might not need this cashless system. Therefore, this person will not get an income once they get this system comes into practice. They might not be able to, their businesses might not be able to be put into use. Once the businesses to be put to use, they won't earn any income. Once they won't earn any income, low living standards, no savings. We are also talking about the factors that lead us to have a cashless economy make us not have enough savings. So, my name is Purity Mora once more. Thank you very much.
Pesa ni tamu, ai, tamu, ai, ni tamu sio utani, ni tamu, ai, ni tamu sio utani, M-Pesa, ni tam tam tam, M-Pesa, ni tam tam tam.
Take part in the M Challenge by sending your short song, rap or poem about Safaricom M-Pesa on WhatsApp, and you could win 1,000 shillings in Safaricom airtime.
The audience has posed questions to the two teams on stage. They will be responding to them shortly. The proposers have been asked what the health issues related with using cash have to do with savings, and the opposition have been challenged. If developed countries such as the United States use cashless economies, why can't we do the same? Proposal number 3, you have 3 minutes.
Juma Caroline from the St. Cecilia Girls High School, Misihu. I want to answer the question that was posed to us by Cynthia Mora from Butere Girls, and she asked, how can bacteria lead to us saving money, or how does the bacteria spread through money?
First question, do you even know where the cash is from? Do you even know where the cash has come from? Who got the cash before you got it? That's one question you have to ask yourself. My money comes from this person. This person was holding a different thing, whereby I go give it to different people, where I will go and get some diseases, whereby I'm maybe cooking in a different place, where we have the people cooking from roadsides, where we go to get maybe our chips, something like we have the maize which are burnt. So when we get hold of those money and still serve the customer, we are going to get the bacteria, which is going to lead to a disease. And after that, what do we get after the disease? Paying hospital bills. Ask yourself, are you going to be saving cash or are you going to be using cash? That's cash you're going to be spending in hospitals. Whereby, if we could have a cashless economy, you could have spent less. Only using your credit cards could have saved a lot. One thing is that one day, as we were going, my mother was very, very sick, and we were going to a hospital whereby she needed a very, very emergency surgery. I had no cash at hand. What could I do? Where could I start from? Oops, my smartphone. I needed it. I had my smartphone. I had my M-Pesa savings. What could I do? I used my savings and paid for the hospital bills by only transferring my cash from my account to the account of the hospital, hence saving a life. How does that lead to a cashless? How does that lead to saving? It leads to saving our economy and our money by, for example, I saved my mother's life. My mother is going to go back to work, earn money, save more than what I used. Then we need to embrace our cashless society, in that we will graduate from an unsaving economy to a saving economy. Thank you.
Opposers, you have 3 minutes to respond to the audience as well.
A question was asked. Bank of New York, 1985. There was a heavy snow that led to the collapsing of the roof in the New York Bank, leading to a shutdown in which people lost $22 billion because there was no functioning of the electronic systems. It later affected 5,000 multi-purpose ATMs in the year 1993. Also, the US only depends on a cashless system at a basis of 47%. The rest, they only depend on a cashy system. We also know that Kenya is a developing country. It isn't fully developed. We use a cashy system since time ago because we know we can depend on it. One of the proposers said that our banks helps us secure our money. I'd like to make this correction. A bank isn't a cashless system. A bank is a cashy system. In the mere fact that we use money and it's placed in a vault, in that we secure our money. Security costs will increase if we use the cashless system. Our inscriptions are not that well, in which a person can break into your M-Pesa codes, get your PIN number, and send the money to themselves. In a cashy system, we have voltages in the banks, very hard to crack because they are made out of pure solid. So we also know that if we run a company 24 hours a day, we risk the merchants that will keep on getting money because we know that I can get the money today. But if we use a cashy system, the banks close. It's very hard for someone to go and get the money. Thus, we lead to increase in our savings. We don't spend more, we save more. It also increases it decreases our job opportunities. In that, if we unemploy the cashiers, if we unemploy the accountants, They lose their jobs, thus leading to low living standards. If we have low living standards, we have higher rates of spending of money, thus low savings. So we need this cashy system so that we can help in our increased savings. We also know that time and again we have been using a cashy system. I can bank on my money. I know how much I spend. I know how much I remain with. If I use a cashless system, take for example a credit card. I pay on credit. I buy, I pay. For the first time, I will know how much I've spent. The second time, I know how much I owe the credit companies. The third time, I'll lose track. The fourth time, I'll continue losing track. But if I work with 100 shillings, I will buy what I want, and I'll know how much I've spent, and I'll know how much is in my pocket. It's also more secure because we don't have to risk hackers coming and taking your credit card. Thank you.
We'll now hear closing statements. Proposers, you have 1 minute.
I, Juma Caroline, again. Saving money where the government does not need the British. Company de la Rue. Hygiene improvement, hence saving the hospital bills. And time, reduces cash circulation, thereby curbing robbery cases. I mean, what else do we need from the cashless economy? We are able to save, and save. What else do we need? Just as it was asked by Robert G. Allen, how many millionaires do you know out there who have invested in a saving account?
Opposition, you have 1 minute as well.
I think I propose this motion. Yes, I propose this motion if at all I want my government to spend more money on firewalls, on experts. I will only support this motion if at all I want people to be unemployed. I will support this motion if at all I want my country to go down in terms of saving. I will support this motion. But until then, I will stand as an enemy of this motion. Quote all the quotations, dear proposers. Give all the points, as many as you can, by the way. Put up a spirited fight. But all that is vanity. We cannot prettify a lie. We cannot make a lie wear a veil and look all innocent and classy. No, we cannot. So, ladies and gentlemen, audience, our judges, this is the reality. We cannot bank on a cashless system. Thus, I stand as an enemy of this motion. Thank you.
St. Cecilia, Rehema, Maria, and Caroline, 3 promising debaters. And I love the way Rehema sets the ball rolling. Nonetheless, there was a missing link. I think it has been mentioned time and again, the issue of bacteria. How does it relate with savings? That one you should have clarified. Nonetheless, it was a good presentation as a first debater. The same applies to Maria. Cheap is expensive. So let us be expensive and save more. I think that was a commendable statement. Caroline, finally, again, presentable, interesting debater. Nonetheless, what I'll advise you to do is avoid a lot of explanations. Once you start explaining a lot, I think I remember you said only 2 things, and you are struggling a lot to explain. So tone down on your explanations, and you'll make a good debater.
Lugulu, Victoria, good points. Expensive to put up the structures that you're talking about when you explain your points. Just work on your confidence so that you're not lost at all. Purity, you come up very strong as a cross-examiner, but when you came at first, how you concluded, I guess after the bell a bit confused you, we noticed that. But when you came as the final, to give you the final remark, it was very strong and well articulated. That was good. Ivy, good submissions as well, and you're also very passionate. I love the fact that you're also confident on stage. All the best to the 2 teams.
I think all in all, you want to coordinate the teamwork so that when you're making submissions, the next person comes to begin, even in as much as they could be, opposing what the other team has said, that there needs to be consistency and continuity in your motion. What was missing in the 2 schools is that it isn't hung together. So if you ask me, what is the takeout from St. Cecilia and what's the takeout from Lugulu, that connection is not there. So there needs to be flow and there needs to be logic. But otherwise, good job.
St. Cecilia girls, the judges gave you 69%. Please give them a round of applause. That's a very commendable score. And Lugulu girls, the judges gave you 70%, making you our winners for this debate.
Well, congratulations to Lugulu girls, and we'd urge our members of the audience to follow us on Twitter and also our viewers. And thank you Safaricom M-Pesa and KBC Channel 1. I have been Austin Nyambok.
And I am Mariam Bishar. Keep watching the Great Debaters Contest for more wonderful debates.
The Great Debaters Contest was brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa.